Here's Faison. 30, 20. Goodbye. Touchdown, William Floyd. Chris Faison from 48 yards out.
When you look at it, they win the Suffolk County title the last 3 years.
The Colonials.
They win the Long Island title the last 2.
The
And
Colonials.
they have a hiccup coming out, and you forgot all about them.
I don't forget about them.
You kept saying that North was going to win the whole thing.
I said this was their time. They had the team to do it, and that everything was pointing in that direction. I don't know. I don't know if you know. I'm one of the great front runners of all time.
So now Floyd's going to win it?
Oh.
Are you on Comac's bandwagon
No,
yet? You're not?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not so sure that I'm going to rule out Sachem North. I'm just, you're trying to have some fun. Sachem North jumps out to a 4-0 record, off to a good start. And now William Floyd is counterpunched. Floyd was up against the ropes a little bit, ducking and weaving, and here comes Paulie Longo's boys.
You think Longo was in his mad scientist room, like working on all his
Yes.
concoctions?
Yes. Listen, it's high school football. Guys grow up right in front of you. The same guy that Paul Longo was going, in summertime camp, now 7 weeks later, is used to the environment, making some plays, is, following his lead a little bit.
So the Colonials have it going.
Mastic Beach, baby. You know how you get to William Floyd, right?
Just keep driving.
First you get gas.
Yeah. Well, they have it rolling, and so do we. Jimmy.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it.
We did it.
It finally happened.
Yep.
What
and look who our 4,000th follower is.
What is it, the great Al Michaels in the 1980 U.S. Hockey? Do you believe in miracles?
Lou Genevieve.
Yes! Lou Genevieve from Somers Lacrosse.
So people out on Long Island know who Lou is.
The former great goaltender, great goalie back in the day. Lou Genevieve.
Lou, thanks a lot. We'll talk to Lou on the Hudson Valley show directly.
He has a bevy of prizes coming his way.
A lot.
We've upped the ante, right?
Rachel has been taking care of everybody.
Lakeland, I think Lou Genevieve played for.
Okay. Right. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. Great lacrosse coach at Somers. A great JoJo Marasco.
Yep, there you go. Jimmy, we were getting ready to do the Boomer game last year when I ran into a great young man from Uniondale High School who was doing some interviews. And we got talking about a very, very good football player at Uniondale High School. We have that tweet, Russell? Here we go, Jim. What's that say? James Glatter.
Hey, I knew I told you when I interviewed you at the Boomer game, guy tore up a 7-1 East Meadow team in his first varsity game.
That guy he's talking about is William Stanback. And there were some people on Long Island who had no idea how good he was. How good is he? Well, he tore up the Boomer game.
MVP.
MVP of the Boomer game. To me, he should have definitely been the Thorpe Award winner last year, but there were some who felt that he didn't play on a Uniondale team that won a ton of games, and in some of the games his statistics weren't that good.
He ran for 4,000 yards in his career and 47 touchdowns. He was second team All-Metro for your team, correct?
Correct.
And it looks like your good buddy George O'Leary in his 10th year at Central Florida.
Central Islip guy.
Right. Who does, they recruit a lot of Florida kids. Okay, if you look at their roster, okay, so somehow or another they did their due diligence to come up to Nassau County and find Will Stenback, because not only has Will gone to Central Florida and made a difference, this is a true freshman.
No doubt.
Okay, and this is not Little Sisters of the Poor schedule.
And the reason we're bringing it up, the other night, the Cardinals of Louisville, 7 in some polls, 8 in another, went down to Central Florida. Central Florida went to Louisville.
Yes.
Beat them.
Papa John
William
Stadium.
Stanback, the pride of Uniondale High School, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And now they're ranked, Central Florida. I think they're ranked 21st in the AP poll, 25th in the USA Today poll. A wild 38-25. Will scores the 2 touchdowns. But he's, but Mike, this was not his coming out party. Central Florida beat Penn State. Yep. He had positive yards. They had a great comeback against Memphis. He made the play of the game where he blew a guy up on punt coverage, knocked the ball loose. His partner behind him, scoop, score, ball game. Will Stenback is the guy down there right now out of Uniondale High School. in Florida.
I told Coach Didio last year in his final year of coaching, I said, you're going out with a special guy. And I know people on Long Island get mad when I say it, but Will Stanback was Jersey good. He was that good. If he played in New Jersey, every school in America would have been recruiting him.
And that's
everyone.
That's his recruiting story.
I hope the Uniondale people see this. Please tell Will I said congratulations.
Yes.
He's a great player.
We love
I said in the Boomer game, don't be surprised if one day Will Stanback is playing in the NFL. And you know who another guy who I think could play in the NFL one day? And I said that in the Boomer game the year before. My man Trent Crossan. He was one of the players of the week in his conferences. Had a great game this weekend. Dalton Crossan. Thanks, Russ. Dalton. I tweeted him today. I'm really proud of you. Coming to Stony Brook this weekend. He asked me if I was coming. I said, I can't.
I know. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
I know. But Jimmy,
it's gonna have
player of the week,
contingent.
specialty team player of the week for the conference. How about that?
I don't care where he went to school. He was going to have an impact.
No doubt.
Okay? He's
Great
a gamer. He's a competitor. He's a super talented kid. And I hope car after car from that Sachem area goes to see Crossan. If you saw him play as a Pop Warner kid, if you saw him play in high school, go out there to Stony Brook and root him on, man. One of your own.
He's a terrific, terrific player. Great. First team All-Metro. That good, no doubt. Jim, what do you know about Mepham High?
Mepham?
Yep.
Famous Amos.
That's it. You know what, Jim? They're scoring some points. Look what he got here from Brian Davis.
Brian Davis. It's all right, Mr. Quick. Can you just mention Mepham next week on Quick Hits when they score 70 points this Friday? Brian with a broad prediction right there.
Hey, BD. Jimmy, he was close. Mepham got 55.
It's not Mepham?
Mepham.
Mep?
No, Long Island guys know. They know. You're New York, and I'm Connecticut. It's Mepham.
Mepham?
Yeah, Mepham.
Because I always thought Amos Zeraway, we used to call him the Mepham Madman or Mepham Masher.
We did? Jersey guys did.
You're telling me.
No, that's what Russ is telling me. Russ knows.
1992, I launched my TV career out here on Long Island. I thought it was Mepham for all these years later.
He won the Thorpe, what, 93, 94? I think. But now here's the deal. This guy Tyler Davis. Now, I don't know if Brian's going with a code name, if he's Tyler, but they scored 55 this week. They beat JFK Belmore 55-21. Mr. Davis, the quarterback, 15 carries, 199 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Wow.
6. He also threw for 103 yards, 12 of 15.
Good for him.
He's got a good buddy, too, Charles Durkin. Okay, Chris Durkin. Charles Durkin's the actor. Jimmy. Hey, was it Brandon or Brian? Brian Davis. I will tell you this right now. You win.
Brian, B-R-Y.
Brian, you win this week. You sit here instead of Jimmy next week. Okay? You know who they play?
Really? Just like that? You're giving me the week off.
Well, you know who they play?
Who do they play?
Take a guess. They're conference 2, Brian Davis.
Go ahead, tell me who.
Take a guess.
I can't guess.
If I would give up your seat, it's got to be somebody good.
I can't guess. Go ahead. Uniondale?
Carey.
Oh, well, now they're in trouble. Carey's undefeated.
The best defensive team on Long Island.
Carey's undefeated. Can you get Troutwig to call the game?
You're funny. Hey, Jim.
Did he go there?
Last week. What?
Did Al Troutwig go there?
Good job. Yes, he did.
By the way, I'm still not convinced that it's called Mepham.
Jimmy, they're all Long Island guys in there.
It's incredible. No one's ever corrected me on that.
Well, how many times have you said Mepham since Amos left?
Plenty.
Name 3.
Mepham High School.
When?
Isn't it spelled PH?
It is.
And that's not.
I don't know. What does that? What does that mean? What does that mean, Jim? Last week on Put a Face on It, at the end of the show, I said I don't
want someone to write in with the phonetic.
Well, they will, because people, when you ask them to do things on this little shindig, they do. Case in point, last week I didn't know where I was going to go on Saturday, so I threw out there, if anybody has an idea of where I should go and be nice, tell me what game I should watch on Saturday. Read a couple of these. We got some great ones out of Port Washington.
This is from Sandy Wilding. Hey, Mike, as the proud parent of the only 10th grader on the Port Washington varsity football team, I can't stress enough how fantastic our football program is for these kids. Whether they get loads of playing time or hardly any at all, they all display such a fantastic team camaraderie. Good thing you didn't have to say that word. It's really something to see. All of us here in Port would be honored to have you attend the big game Saturday against Roslyn. It's the biggest game these kids have ever played. Please try and come. All the best. Sandy, mother of super sophomore Wilding.
Okay, now Jim,
I hope
this
it's
was
Wilding.
we got a lot of these. There was more. They just kept coming. Well, can you read this one?
Mike, love your show and especially your enthusiasm. You should really think about attending the Port versus Roslyn game this weekend. Even though it's a Division 5, the skill level is so much better and it will be a very exciting game. Port has not had a winning program like the one they have for the last 2 years, and Roslyn will be looking for revenge from last year's loss to Port. Hope to see you at the game of the week. Andre Ballarge, proud Port parent.
There might be more. Oh, that's all we have. So, Jimmy, that's what I did. I went out there. It was incredible. I went out there with Jackie. Dylan Butler was writing something for MSG Varsity Long Island. Scott Goldberg showed up.
And this is a battle of unbeatens.
Unbeatens. Now, let me give you an idea of what Nassau 5 is all about. It's about teams that have struggled both competitively and with numbers. Roslyn came undefeated, as you said, 5-0. They had 26 kids on their team. It was a great crowd. The public address announcer teaches music at the school.
Nice.
Sang the national anthem. Unreal.
Really?
It was incredible. There was probably 600-700 people at the game. Every person I met was so nice. They were great. Before I get into the whole Port Washington thing, I gotta talk about Thomas Davis. He's a 5'5", 130-pound junior running back from Roslyn. He's got great feet. I was into this kid. Number 3, very, very good. I tweeted it out that I like what I'm seeing. He was very good. He had their only touchdown. It's a 7-7 game, about 6 and change left,
Yeah.
Jim. Manny Salvatierra, big linebacker, steps in front.
Manuel.
26 yards the other way. Manny goes back, and then Mike Janusa met his parents, great people. His sister goes to Sacred Heart. She's my old college. She saw this little shindig, and I guess that's how everyone started talking about it, and they all started sending it. So they win the game 21-7. Port does. They're flying in 5.
Did you see, now Salvatierra is an offensive lineman who also plays linebacker.
Yeah.
He had a wonderful quote that he said, I saw the ball, I jumped in and picked it off, and then I saw nothing but green grass in front of me, and as I was running, I was thinking, is this really happening?
Yeah, no, it was. It was a great celebration in the end.
Like,
Jimmy,
he's like an offensive lineman playing a little linebacker, gets a pick, and he's like,
great.
I'm about to score a touchdown.
Well, I think Coach Ramsey told him to drop off in coverage a little bit, and I would not be surprised.
You really got inside this game.
I would not be surprised if Coach Ramsey is named the Jets Coach of the Week this week.
You would not be surprised.
I would not be surprised.
Do you have an inkling? Do you have a hunch? Do you have shall I say, a source?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Stephanie, the AD, was great out there. They have a policy where they don't let people...
Because,
let me finish.
You have never said, I will not be surprised if this coach is named Coach of the Week and been wrong.
I've never been wrong. Ever.
I'm sorry. I know,
So
my
Stephanie,
wife told me I cut you off too much.
Stephanie, the AD, was great. They have a policy at Port Washington where no one's allowed to stand in the end zone.
Oh, you got to change that.
She did.
Yeah.
Jackie and I stood in the end zone.
No, you got to change that whole
Because
thing
that's where I
altogether.
watch games from, and she didn't understand. She said to Jackie, well, why would he stand there and do that? Well, because I see everything develop from the end zone. So they win it 21-7. It was a lot of fun. Congratulations to Coach Ramsey. Most likely, in 2 weeks, you know who they're going to play? They pair these guys up in Nassau 5. You know who they're going to play in 2 weeks? For the championship? Roslyn.
Oh, but it's going to rematch?
Yeah. They're going to bring portable lights in there. It's going to be fun.
Propane. I disagree with any team or school that does not allow people to stand in the end zone. And I'll tell you why. Because to me, there's always a certain passing of the torch when you let former players come stand on the sidelines. So when your current guy barrels into the end zone, gets knocked over, and that guy from 10 years ago, boy, picks him up, gives him a little pat. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know what I mean? Let your former players come in and stand in the end zone. You know what I mean? So when the guy scores, there's some high fives and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I appreciate you letting me stand in the end zone. I really do.
Like you were like a man on an island.
It was great. And there was elevation, too. So I stood in the end zone, but on a little bit of a hill. It was great.
Wait, the end zone had elevation?
It did, because when the turf ended, they kind of went up on the grass, and
wow.
I stood on the grass. It was very, you know what? Listen, folks, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a bizarre thing, and I told some of the parents this, too. The night before, I'm watching St. Joe's Montvale, our #1 team in the Tri-State. So there was a bit of a drop-off in talent from Friday night to Saturday.
It's okay.
But the enthusiasm was just as good.
That's high school football.
It was great. The crowd was into it. The people were spectacular. They couldn't have been nicer. So I really appreciate them getting back to me and telling me to go, because I went because they asked me to go.
There's no fraternity like it, a high school football team, no matter what level. You and I could stand on the sideline of a 9-year-old football game and get pumped up for kids, you know?
And Jimmy, it's a beautiful school.
Oh, it's a nice area.
It's spectacular. It looked like a prep school.
Is that like exit 37 off the LIE?
36, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
I stopped there on our way home. I like chicken kebab off exit 37. It's like a Greek place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you used to do that.
Yeah. Nice place. Nice people.
I could not find a Dunkin' Donuts when I was leaving there.
Right off 37.
I couldn't find it.
37, right on the left.
I didn't know where I was. Rosalind, they were one of 10 unbeaten schools on Long Island last weekend. Not anymore.
Mateo's, too, an Italian restaurant, I think, is in Rosalind.
Really? Okay. Last week, in the state of New York, there were 49 unbeaten teams going into the weekend. There's only 41 left now in the state. We lost 8. 2 are from Long Island. So there's 8 remain, 7 in the Publix, and Chaminade, who almost went down. Maybe they were thinking ahead to play in St. Anthony's, but Boyd's guys win again. They go to 6-0. So there we go. Now, Jim, the other unbeaten team. Now, I'm into this Nassau 5 thing, right? And then the other team, the 3-school crew, my guys from Greenport, the Porters. It was homecoming day, and I said last week they would win. Huge homecoming crowd.
Really?
Huge.
I know.
Caliendo, the
Porter
athletic
power.
director. That's Eric's dad. Remember Eric, the goalie from St. Anthony's?
Yes, I do.
We mic'd him up for the valedictorian.
Led him to a title.
Great kid. His dad, unbelievable AD.
There's a movement out there. I know you like the 3-school crew, but there's a movement out there to change it altogether to the North Fork High. Yeah.
I think 3-school crew is better. I like that.
It's kind of a weird,
3-school crew?
Kind of a weird thing to put on like your varsity jacket, though.
I think it makes you sound tough.
Don't mess with us. We'll come at you ×3.
Don't mess with Senator Rich's homecoming day at the 3-school crew. So, Tyrell Thomas going to throw it here to Tariq Roundtree, and Roundtree, 24-yard touchdown. They're up 8-0. Third quarter, they get on the board. My man Johnny Drinkwater, 22 yards. It's 8-3. Then his brother Matt, a little bit later, they're driving, little pump fake, and then the pass is intercepted by Tariq Roundtree. They would punch in a touchdown moments later, and Greenport, their unbeaten season comes to an end. They lose to Center Moriches on homecoming day, 16-3. The season is not over for them.
They're 5-1.
They're 5-1.
Right?
It's a great story. They're 5-1. Center Moriches, very quietly.
Now they're your guys.
So everybody's chasing Babylon.
Right.
And I would be shocked if anybody other than Babylon.
Do you know the last time that your 3-school crew won 6 games?
6 games, I think, was 1970. This was the first time since 75.
77, I read in Newsday.
Okay, and this is the first time since 75 they started 5-0?
Right. And this is a team that was 1-15 in the last 2 years.
I was glad Herzog jumped on board from Newsday.
Yes,
that was
he did.
Good. That was good to get Bob out there.
He gave him the kiss of death, but
he did. Herzog's a great pro.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Wonderful, right? I'm saying, when you do this little Long Island show, you read Bob Herzog stuff, you get a great feel for what that was like and all that pride, all that civic pride. football's back, and they had a history of football there.
Long time ago.
Going back in the 60s and the 70s. So it's, North Fork High, as some of their students have said.
3-school crew. That's what I'm sticking with. Well, Herzog's a great writer. So is Tariq Harris's mom. We got a beautiful... That was the
From
young man
Oceanside.
from Oceanside who was phenomenal. Jim, go ahead. It reads like War and Peace.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much for the highlights this week of my son, Tariq Harris. Tariq has been involved in Oceanside sports and plays both lacrosse and football each year. Although you were there initially for the other team,
That's not true.
it
We were
all
there to
worked
do the
out,
game.
and I am grateful you had the opportunity to see Tariq's great athleticism in action. Ironically, Johnny Akins from Roosevelt is also my...
Student. She's a teacher.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Akins had an unbelievable game this
I
week
was
against
trying to figure
Island
out that
Trees,
word,
over
mentor.
200 yards again.
He was my student, is good friends with Tariq. I continue to play an active role in Johnny's life as they both support each other with sports and are both having phenomenal seasons. As I prepare both of them for college, I'm truly grateful for your support and how your highlights acknowledges the hard work and dedication these young men do each and every day. I thank you for your continued support. You are greatly appreciated. Respectfully, Mrs. A, proud mom and proud teacher of Tariq Harris, Oceanside High School. Very nice.
And the reason that we're showing a lot of these emails and tweets now, because the show is not interactive verbally like it used to be, so we think that's important, and I really appreciate the kind words.
And I saw her after the Oceanside East Meadow game. She was with her contingent, and they were very excited. Obviously, he had just dominated the game,
And he did a great post-game
right?
review,
He
too.
was wonderful, and he was in Wildcat. He virtually ran every play, right? I
great.
mean, it was
Great.
they did what they had to do to win the game, and so they saw me and hey, congratulations! How great was he? And I said, how many yards do you think he ran for? And one of his uncles or somebody in the crowd said, oh, it had to be 100. And I go, 261. And the whole, whoa!
That's great.
They were all, whoa! You know what I mean? So it was
great.
like, they were thinking it was in the hundreds, high hundreds, 260.
Well, Oceanside that night came back to beat East Meadow
Yes.
28-21. Tariq Harris this time would not run for 261 yards, but he was part of an exciting comeback. Here we go. Fun game in Russ Relkin's driveway.
Massive Pequot and Oceanside, Pequot ball, Craig Burge, 22-yard TD run, 13-3 Massapequa. They're in total control, but we get to the fourth quarter, and here come the Sailors, down 13-3. The super sophomore, Vinny Guarino, getting better every day. Timmy Nolan, 35 yards. Extra point was no good. It was 13-9. Now Oceanside ball, still fourth quarter. Vinny G to Timmy Nolan again. Nolan hauls it in. He gets down to the 39-yard line.
Great throw.
Now 2nd and 10. Watch Guarino. Knows he's got to tuck it and go. He does just that to the Massapequa 18.
Look at that sideline, Jim.
4 seconds left in the game. Last chance. Here we go. Are you kidding me, Vinny? To Casey Kelly for 18. Ball game. Sailors win. Sailors win on the final play. Incredible. Incredible. How about
14-year-old kid, and he's been entrusted by Robbie Blount to run that sophisticated Sailors offense. Now, the week before, we saw Harris, when they weren't really able to do some things, change it up. That is a very, very tough prep now for Oceanside, because what you do now, because you don't know if you're going to get the run package or the throw package, that means you have to spend a lot of extra time in practice working on a lot of things and not concentrating on just one.
wild game there, Mike? I mean, how about Oceanside doesn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter, and they score their only two of the game in the fourth quarter and kind of run out of there. That's a tough loss for Massapequa. They'll have to get up off the deck from that one.
People must be pretty excited. I would think Vin's jacked up after that game.
Sophomore.
We called double post, and my line gave me an extreme amount of time to even make that play. That was just a great catch by Casey Kelly.
When you see the ball thrown, you know it's a little low, you have to make that slide. What's going through your mind at that point?
I was just like, oh, uh-oh. I thought it was going to go on the ground, to tell you the truth, and just came up with it. I don't know.
That was a special thing right there. Vinny's a 14-year-old kid, and he played like a man that last drive. Things weren't going well for us the whole day. Massapequa's a great team, and they shut down our run. And Vinny did a tremendous job along with the receivers.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you see he gets a little flush to his left, then he steps back right and then steps into the throw. And I mean, you see how young he is in the interview.
Yes, he's a boy. And Kelly did a good job there, because it was a low throw, but you see Kelly in the highlight there kind of set his feet, went down and got it, And wow, that's theatrical right there.
No doubt.
4 seconds left. Final throw. Game ends right there.
Absolutely. Big man on campus was the sophomore today in school. Now, do you think that it's a foregone conclusion that Miller Place wins Division III in Suffolk?
I mean, a foregone conclusion?
That's your team.
Well, we've been having a lot of fun with them, but I mean, I don't want to put any undue pressure on my boys from Miller Place. They do have the Almighty with them, though.
They do,
The
but
Wizard.
before we get to the Wizard, let's get to Islip Sayville, because this thing
Are they still scoring in this game?
They're still playing. Let's go. Hopefully it's over by the time we finish these highlights. Islip, fourth quarter now, 31 seconds left. Kieran Mullins, great lacrosse player, 30-yard touchdown. He was an all-first-team Metro last year for us, right? 38-31, and then it's Jack Cohn to Chris Rupp. That's the freshman to Rupp. Look at the feet, 15 yards, and then 8 seconds left. Cohn, watch this, Jim. Gonna drop back. He's a ninth grader. Steps into the throw, perfect to a Matty Stelz kid who is playing great football for Haas and the boys. Tied it at 38. First overtime, 4th and long. Mullins to Raphael Alomar, 20 yards. Mullins 13 of 16 for 315, 5 touchdowns, ran for a score. They're up 7. But when you have this fantastic freshman, look at that.
Oh my
look at the
gosh.
poise. Looks like a senior to Chris Rupp, 20-yard touchdown. Tied it at 45. Forget second overtime. Let's go to the third overtime. Tied at 52. Mushad. Lionel Mushad, 20 yards up the middle for the touchdown. Point after good, 59-52. Then it's Seltz, 8-yard touchdown run. One of his 3 rushing touchdowns. Returned to kickoff for a touchdown. And Haas is like, you know what? Forget it. We can't stop anybody. Let's go for 2. Play action. The ball is knocked down by Ronnie King. That's their first win, Islip's over Sayville in the last 3 years, 59-58.
Well, we watched a lot of film, and we knew one of 2 plays were coming. And our coach told us and said, you know, listen, and I saw the play coming, and we made a big play on it, and I was really excited. Our coaches, you know, prepared us really well for that. And they ran the exact play he told us, and I was just in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, we're feeling good. We're just calling our go-to plays to score touchdowns. We practice them all the time in practice, and we executed them perfect. And back-to-back, Sayville, Islip. That's how it was.
Whew, you all right? That was a nice read for you. That was a big one.
That was a great game. And Steady Eddie gets there like in the fourth quarter. It's perfect.
How about a game that has 117 points and neither team hits 60? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, that's how close it was. And you know what? That's a playmaker's special, that game. Nobody could stop one another.
Yeah.
It was just making one play after another. And then in the end, what ends the game?
Makes a play.
Ronnie King. Ball game, knocks it down. The one, you know, just a little, but
I love the fact that Haas, you know,
Yes.
I love the fact that he went for 2. Jamie Lynch said, why wouldn't you? He's the Islip coach. You know, I mean, both teams. And then you got to remember, if they go to a next overtime,
you have to go for
then
2.
you have to go
Right.
for 2. So you know what? It was coming up anyway. So that was a lot of fun. Here's your Miller Place team, Jim. They took on Huntington. They
Miller
win the
Place.
game 42-28. Let's do it.
First quarter, Huntington has the ball, Mike. There's no score. Ben Kosis. Look at Gentle Ben. To Jameson.
Big arm.
6 yards. Oh, 7-0 Huntington. Well, you know Miller Place. You know what they want to do. They want to get it to Brett Osman. The guy has exploded this year. The Wizard of Oz. 37-yard touchdown. Miller Place ball tied at 7. Again, it's Osman. Listen, 42-28. The game was much closer than this, Mike. Osman went crazy in this game as Miller Place moves to 6-0. Here's what you need to know about the game. It's 35-21 in the fourth quarter. Huntington is a 4th and goal, stopped by Miller Place. They're in deep. A couple plays later, Osman goes 86 yards on a touchdown run to go over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. But if they score there, you know, it's 35-28 in the fourth quarter. And, you know, listen, goal line defense sets it up for Miller Place. And listen, I know we're having some fun with Brett Osman, right? The Wizard of Oz, right? We're having some fun with him, right?
Yeah.
Every week, Raph sends me the text and to tell me what Osman did. And every week, Mike, he's going over 200. This week he went over 300. And these Miller Place guys, you know, they're sort of capitalizing on that lacrosse championship they won last spring, and here they come again. And hey, it's a lot of fun. They're having a fun season. A lot of fun.
You know what Nick Santarelli's in charge of, the Babylon quarterback?
What he's in charge of?
Yep.
Throwing touchdown passes?
Yep. He's done that. Done a good job with that. What else?
I don't know.
He leads the most prolific offense on Long Island. 252 points for Long Island's team that has the longest winning streak out here. It goes to 18 straight now in a fun game with Mount Sinai. Let's do it. Here we go. Here's Santarelli to Jake Carlock. Carlock's a terrific athlete. This is going to put him up 14-0. 70 yards. Second quarter, Santarelli. Guess who, Jim?
Carlock?
You got it. Look at this run. Wow. Jake the Snake. Love that.
Oh,
Get out of my way.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And then, a couple plays later, Slick Nick sets, rips. There it is to AJ Giuliano. 8-yard touchdown. 42-7. Babylon continues to roll.
I think he's thrown 15 touchdown passes on the season.
School record, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
He's got plenty of time left to add on. But bottom line, they're 6-0.
You know, last year when Floyd won their second consecutive Long Island Big School Championship, they lost a lot of guys.
They did.
And, you know, they started a little slow this year. And we said at the beginning of the show, did we write them off too soon? They were the preseason #1 seed, which to me is a testament to what Paul Longo has done out there in Mastic Beach. Because anybody else who loses that many guys, they're going to take the 2, the 3, the 4. They got the 1 seed. And here comes Floyd. They have themselves guys now who are getting into that Colonial flow. Let's do it.
Floyd and Station North, man. They love it. Here's the new QB, Brust. Eric Brust. And it was 7-0 William Floyd on the 4-yard touchdown run. Brust is an interesting story. We'll talk about it in a second. And Vinny LeBate. Look at Vinny. 19-yard touchdown run. My gosh, it's 21-0 William Floyd. And here comes Trent Crossan to Kevin Bergaglia. 30 yards. Sachem North is down 21-7. But in the third quarter, Faison puts it away. Watch Chris here. From midfield. Bounces it. Hits the hole. Separation. William Floyd emphatically over Sachem North, who's now lost 2 in a row after jumping out the season at 4-0. And Eric Brust was a football kid once upon a time in Mastic Beach. Then he decided not to play football for an extended period of time to concentrate on lacrosse and basketball, much to Paul Longo's disappointment. And guess who came back this year to play football? Brust. And he became the quarterback, and he, you know, it was a process. If you ask Coach Floyd, it was a process, getting better each week, and he's finally looking comfortable, and you see him now. And now, hey, William Floyd is a factor. No shocker, but just unbelievable.
What was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago when Joe Capobianco broke Stephen Ferrara's single season or career mark for touchdown passes?
Touchdowns, right.
Yeah, he's up to 83 now, Jim.
Wow.
Yep, and guess what else?
We spoke about, can he get to 100?
It's going to be close. They're going to have to go deep into the postseason.
Yeah.
Now he broke another one of Ferraro's records this weekend. Most passing yards in a career. He now has 6,507. Lawrence Lindbrook. Here we go. Here's Capobianco. Little play action, freeze the inside. And this is Jordan Fredericks. And Jimmy, they've moved him to running back, and they still throw him the ball, but he has been flat out on fire, Mr. Fredericks has, the last 2 weeks. So that was a 78-yard screen. Lawrence up 21-7. Then Capobianco going to hit Smith for a 62-yard touchdown. The Golden Tornadoes 28-7. Now it's 28-14. Capobianco intercepted by Buhal. And booyah! 55-yard interception return. Cap on the day 14-17. 356 and 3 touchdowns. That made it 28-21. And then Fredericks, one of his 4 touchdowns, ran for 178 yards. Capabianco in the fourth would break the record held by Stephen Ferraro. And Joe Cap, he's got some swagger. You know that. And I thought it was a very interesting post-game soundbite he gave Raph.
It's very self-motivating because I just got to get better now. I don't want anyone breaking. I want to have my name in the record books for all years to come. I want my kids to see my name in that record book. We just got to keep working hard. Most importantly, the win this week was big.
See, I like the fact because most people will never say they don't want their record to be broken. I love the fact that he said that because why wouldn't you when you establish a... You think Stephen Ferrara loves the fact that Joe Capabianco broke... No. I like the fact Capabianco's a different type Cap.
But you know what? We've seen this before. Wasn't it just a year ago when Adrian Peterson of the Broncos was going to break Eric Dickerson's record, and Dickerson was openly rooting against him? You know what I mean? Don't the 72 Miami Dolphins break open the champagne every time the last undefeated team goes down? And look, give Joe Cap credit because you're seeing Joe Cap grow up a little bit. You know, I think maybe 3 years ago he would have made that statement and left it there. Now, Joe Cap the Sr. makes a statement, but then he also says, but most importantly, we won the game, okay?
Yep.
He knows what it's about. And, you know, Lawrence, you know, the show returns once again with Lawrence. You know what I mean? It's just, they're just wide open. And the one thing about, I always talk about it, the best form of football is predictable dominance. You know what they're going to try and do to you. You know what they're exactly all about. And here they come, and they do it to you.
I like the
Grip it and rip
fact
it.
that Coach Mart moved Fredericks to running back after the plain edge game. Yeah, he's
the natural.
Yeah,
I mean, he ran for 178 yards. And by the way, Joe Cap threw for 356. He also ran for 100 yards in this game. I mean, that's like a prolific day.
I don't think the Fredericks parents are going to be spending money for college. That young man is going to get himself a free ride to school.
The word natural. When I see Fredericks run, he's smooth, he's natural, he's composed, and it's like, I would say to the Fredericks that what's the college fund? 539?
529.
529.
Yeah.
Spend it.
You're funny. So everybody's doing well now at Lawrence after the loss to Plain Edge. How you doing? Okay. Last week we had 3 teams on Long Island in the top 25. This week we'll have 3 when we tell you who they are tomorrow in the small school 3 and 3. So that makes me happy that at least the dominance continues, that nobody fell off. So, you know, Division 3, our Conference 3, is getting back. So Bethpage, Plain Edge, Lawrence, and then, you know what? One of those 3, I think, is going to play Miller Place. I don't think anybody's going to beat Miller Place.
You think it's their time?
The Wizards just on fire.
I mean, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't like to talk about awards on this show, but he's in the mix. He's in the mix. He's in the mix. And Joe Cap, 17 touchdown passes away from 100. It'll be interesting.
All right, so they're 6-0. They play 2 more regular season games. If they go on to win the Nassau title, that would be 3 more. And if they play in the Long Island, so he could play 6. All right, thank you, Russell. They're 5-1. They lost to Plain Edge, so they played 6 games. So he could play 6 more. You get 3 a game.
Yeah.
You get 2 a game.
He gets 3 and we're rolling out of bed. And we got to check on this Mepham thing too.
It's Mepham.
All right, I just want to check on it. Any chance for Chaminade? Against St. Anthony's.
Jimmy, I'm picking the game on Thursday. I don't give that info. I'll talk about anything on the show. I don't give up my picks. That is Thursday. If anybody knows,
always said Mepham.
I am 100% in agreement with the boys on the other side of the wall.
What have you said your whole life, though?
Until Russ told me today it was Mepham. If anybody knows the proper pronunciation of Mepham/Mepham, let us know. We ain't from around here.
We want a phonetic email.